First off, Marquette kicked off their Big East Conference schedule Saturday afternoon against Villanova. What were your overall thoughts in the team's first conference game?
I mean, obviously it's the first conference game. Everyone's a little nervous. It is home field advantage, though, because they were at Valley Fields, and to start on a loss is not the best, obviously, for the rest of the Big East Conference season. But I think that they have a lot to take away from this game and stuff we're going to talk about in the next couple minutes that they can take away and use for the next Big East games.
Definitely, and despite losing this game, there were definitely some highs and lows for Marquette and Villanova. So what were some bright spots that you saw for Marquette in this game?
I would say, Juliana Honing only had those 3 saves in goal, but I thought the defense did a pretty good job. I mean, they did have that 6-0 run at the end of the first half to the beginning of the second half from Villanova, but then the Golden Eagles were able to get out on a 7-0 run of their own. So they had a bright spot in the offense there. And obviously Charlotte McGuire having a first half hat trick, that's something to be positive about as well. So she had a great game, and the Golden Eagles just need to tighten up their defense, but I think they played a pretty good game in overcoming a 6-0 run and getting a 7-0 of their own.
Totally, and like you said, there was a big deficit at one point in the game. The Golden Eagles were down 7 at one point during the second half. How were they able to come back and make the game so close towards the end?
I mean, I thought it was interesting because at the half they were down 9-4. So at 9-4 you would think, okay, they might not come back here, but they came back and tied it up at 11 in the second half. So they did great on offensive production, just getting the ball and spreading the wealth to all the players. I mean, not just Charlotte McGuire, but obviously Lindsay Wilcox played a big role with her 4 goals as well. So I think they had a lot of positive things on the offense. They just need to tighten up their defense and not let Villanova score those easy goals in the last couple minutes that lost them the game.
Right, and now that they are in phase 2 of the season, looking back on Marquette's non-conference schedule, what do you think of those games?
I mean, I think they had a pretty good non-conference schedule. Obviously, they went 6-6, not the best results, but I think that it was really interesting to see how they came back from these hard losses against, Notre Dame, and then obviously that 24-4 loss against Northwestern a couple weeks ago was a big hit, but they did come back, and against Villanova were able to do a little bit better and keep the score a little closer than obviously 24-4. So they've had these big hits in the losses, but then they've come back and responded really well. And I think Meredith Black has done a very nice job with her team kind of rebounding and showing really their resilience.
Right, and like you said, there's been periods of time during the season where the Golden Eagles have looked great, and there's been other times where they lose by a big margin. So based on their up and down season, what are your overall predictions for the rest of the Big East play?
It's going to be really hard because obviously with it being in Milwaukee, that's going to give them some incentive that we want to win because we want to be in that Big East semifinal game because it's in their home field. So I think they have their sights set on that. So that's their goal, and they got to try to reach that by just thinking, okay, we got to take it one step at a time, one game at a time. And even though we lost this first game and it was a close one, we got to come back. And when we come back, we have to do even better and tighten up that defense and play a little bit tougher offense to maybe get the win against Butler.
Right. Great insights as always, Zoe. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be discussing some of Marquette's golf, tennis, and track and field. So stick around because Golden Eagle Sports Report will be right back.